Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable Woman podcast. I am super excited that you are joining us today. Thank you for being a loyal listener. And if it's your first time listening, I hope you enjoy the podcast, listen to a lot of episodes, and love the upcoming episode that we have for you today. This episode is something special. It's a sneak peek of the type of teaching we do at the Income Breakthrough Summit. So if you've never come to one of our summits, this will give you a sense of what's in store for you. We'd love for you to attend and get this life-changing information. If you're interested, go to theunstoppablewoman.com/summit for more information and to get your ticket today. I cannot wait to see you there. We are going to pick up where we left off yesterday on using the law of vibration. This is one of the things that I've learned over the years, and I keep increasing for myself, that if I go from I'm not sure to decision quicker than I did yesterday, I make more progress today than I did before. And it's cumulative. It builds and builds and builds. And it's one of the things that I do with my coaching clients. I'm like, that's a great idea. And they will tell me, yeah, I'm going to do that in 2 weeks after I come back from that trip. And I'm thinking, actually, that great idea is going to take her 15 minutes to execute on. Why is she putting it off 2 weeks? You close the gap on time. You shorten the window on how long it takes for you to achieve your income breakthrough by doing things quicker. Does this mean that you get overwhelmed? No. It's not about splaying out or spinning out, and we're going to be talking about the spin out in a little bit today. But we're not talking about spinning out. The spin out only comes from confusion. It comes from being unclear internally about what you want and what's stopping you from getting that and going there. And the thing that's stopping you is probably 5 to 10% tactical skill set that you need to learn. Okay? Maybe you need to learn how to do Facebook ads. Maybe you need to learn how to be present on social media. Maybe you need to learn how to write a great webinar. Maybe you need to learn how to speak on stage. Maybe you need to learn how to do copy editing for your book, right? There are tactical skills that you need to learn for sure, without a doubt. But you do those things faster if you clean up the inside. The outer work is never great if the inside work is small. And the outer work is never small if the inside work is great. You have to do the work on your self-image, how you're seeing yourself, your belief structures, in order to be able to see exactly what's here and here now for you and be clear about moving towards that and making a decision. Now, does that mean that there is no fear? Absolutely not. Okay? I want to be super, super clear. It doesn't mean that you learn this process of making quick decisions and those decisions feel easy without trepidation, that there's no noise there, that you have to practice and learn stepping forward, even though it feels uncomfortable. This is moving towards the resistance. This is moving towards the fear. I had to learn this again and again and again and again until it no longer felt that way. But I'm telling you, it took me about 3 years of doing this all the frickin' time. But if you wait until you're ready, you'll never start that process. You have to start now. So if you notice in the exercises, I'm asking you in the worksheets and the breakout rooms, I'm asking you, what's the action you need to take now? What have you decided? What's your commitment? By when, right? Like there's like, I'm asking you to get clear and I'm asking you to decide so that you then take action. Nothing happens if you don't move forward. Okay? That's just spiritual bypassing to be like, oh, wishful thinking. Okay? You have to take the action. So using the law of vibration, I want to go back to where we left off. Okay? the thing with the law of vibration, as you remember, is that you are here and you're getting the results that match at that level. Okay? We know that because everything functions at a frequency. Everything has a frequency. I have a frequency, you have a frequency, the idea you have is a frequency, the money you want has a frequency, the house you want to buy has a frequency, the house that you're in right now has a frequency. Everything vibrates at a frequency. There's nothing in this universe that doesn't vibrate at a frequency. If you're getting these results, it indicates that you're at this level of frequency, okay? So if you want to change your results, and now let's talk about an income, right? If you want to raise your income, what you make in your business, you have to raise your vibration, okay? This is just basic, okay? This is the law. Okay, this is foundational. There's nothing here. Like, I ask you to go test this out. Okay, I ask you to figure this out and look at yourself and see if there's an exception in your life to this. There is not. I promise you. There is not. Okay? So now, how do you change this? How do you actually make an income breakthrough using the law of vibration? Well, there's only 3 ways to make more money in your business. I'm talking about revenue generation. There's only 3 ways to make more money. 1, so you raise your prices. 2, you sell more of what you already have. Okay, so that's quantity. And 3, you add a new channel of income, either in the business that you're in right now, you add a new product or service offering, or you create a new channel that is adjacent to the existing business that you're in, okay? Something that supports it. Maybe it's a licensing deal or something like that, right? So there's the 3 ways in your business, which is raise your prices, sell more of what you already have, and new channel of income. And the new channel of income can either be in the lane that you're in currently or adjacent to it, okay? If you are a massage therapist and you have an idea to build a car, that's a totally freaking different business, okay? Don't get confused by that last one, the channel of income. That needs to be in your business or very supportive of it. Otherwise, you're starting a new business, okay? Which is totally fine to do. If business number 1 is super successful and you are like, jamming, you've hired team, it's leveraged, all of that, and you want to go and spend your time over here, fantastic. But if you are not doing the work in this business and you're not making the money you want in this business, but it's your passion and it's your genius work, don't deflect, don't distract and go over here. That doesn't work, okay? Then you're going to be splayed in too many different directions, okay? So let's talk about that first way of making more money in your business. That's raising your prices. And right now, let's say you have a service offering and you charge $1,000 for it. That's what the level of vibration that you're at. But when you do the math, which we're going to do in a little bit, and you realize that to make your income goal for the year, you need to raise your prices maybe 10 times and charge $10,000 for the same service offering. How do you do that? Right? How does that happen? How do you go from being someone who charges $1,000 to someone who charges $10,000? Well, the first thing you need to do is to register whether you can hold that level. Okay? So you need to ask yourself, can I charge $10,000 for that? And maybe there's a wobble there, but you're like, actually, I think I can hold that. That's the number. That's true. If that's true, then you go forward. If you are like, actually, there's no way in hell I can ask someone for $10,000 for anything, then you need to reduce that to a place where you can believe that you can earn that for your product or service. It's about belief here. Can you wrap your head around it? Can you believe that you can be that woman and someone can pay you for it, will pay you for it, okay? There's a litmus test there. It's a belief litmus test, okay? Then once you're in a yes there and you fully believe, you're like, yep, I can do that 10 grand. I've never done it before. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but I believe that. Like, I believe that's possible. Then you have to put yourself at the level of a woman who charges $10,000. How do you do that? You use your imagination. You go up to that level and you ask yourself, who would you need to be someone who charges $10,000 for your product or service? Okay? And maybe for you, it's 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000, right? Everyone has a different business model. Okay, so don't get caught up in the numbers that I'm using as an example. Okay, don't get caught up in that. Use the stretch number that exists for you. Can you hold that? And if you can believe it, who would you need to be someone who charges that? Okay, this then is the woman who attracts her ideal clients. People ask me, how do I attract the clients that I need and want? How do I attract the person who will pay for my product or service? Well, one, you have to know that they are out there. This is the law of polarity. If the desire is felt, the supply is ready to appear. Okay? Just because you haven't sold to someone who buys at $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 doesn't mean that they're not here. Doesn't. And if you sell to businesses, the same thing. Okay? It means that you are not aware of where they are or how to find them or how to speak to them. And that's your job. That's your personal responsibility. You must raise your level of vibration and start speaking to that woman. Not to the woman who's here, but to the woman who's here. To the client who's here. So if you look at your clientele and you're like, they're all PETA clients, or I have people who ask too much or whatever, you need to raise your level and say, well, who do I want to work with? Who would that person be? And how do I need to behave to attract that person? That's your work. That's your personal responsibility. You have to get yourself into the proper order. If you're not in the proper order, it won't work. If you think I have to prove my value, that's a low self-worth attitude. I don't mean that in a you're a bad human, okay? Don't take that personally. But that I have to prove my value is a low self-worth place. It's a self-image that says I have to prove myself as opposed to being someone of value. Be someone of value. Now, you might have to change how you do your business, but that doesn't mean you have to go into somersaults around proving yourself. Back in the day when I raised my prices significantly and quantum leaped my income and went from 135 to 700K in 1 year, that's 5 times my income, I had to raise my prices. It was one of the 3 strategies. I used quantity, channel, and pricing, all 3 together. And when I raised my prices, I had to be someone at that higher level. And I was like, who do I need to be? Well, I need to be someone who gives more value in a short amount of time. I do very targeted work with people. They get results very quickly. I needed to be someone who spoke the truth to them. That isn't more time. That isn't more effort. It's being better at what I do. It's speaking the truth so that people can hear it. That's raising your value. Okay? The law of compensation says you'll be compensated according to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty in replacing you. When I got better as a coach so I could focus in, target in, laser in on what was happening for someone and could nail it in 30 seconds instead of 3 months, I just raised my value. But here's the rub, guys. I made the decision to raise my prices first. And then I raised myself to that level. I used the urgency of like, well, if I'm charging this, I got to be at this level. We can't dick around. We can't like just have a therapy session, okay? Like it needs to be effective and efficient and like get in there. There's an order of causation. Yes, it doesn't require more time. Okay, now I put time into my business. I was up at 5 getting ready with hair and makeup and like doing a photo shoot and talking to the team and having a team meeting. Like I put in the time, okay? But I'm having fun. I don't have a monkey on my back, okay? So I have a good attitude around this as well. I used to compare that to before. I used to fear making mistakes, letting other people down, and therefore I was on this hamster wheel of never enough. Couldn't get to the end of my to-do list at the end of the day by any means, right? And I felt bad, and that caused the monkey on my back. That's the grind, that's the lack of motivation. Now, I still don't get to the end of my to-do list, right? Because it's never ending, right? But my attitude and my perspective about it is totally different. I know exactly how I want to show up every day. I show up, I do that, I keep my word to myself, and I know that there's always more. Hey, thanks so much for joining us and being part of the Unstoppable Woman movement. We have got a ton of free resources for scaling your business at theunstoppablewoman.com/free stuff. And you can find that link in the description below. So go ahead and check those out. And we'd also love your help in getting our message out to more and more women. If you'd be willing to share this video with all the unstoppable women in your life, that would be fantastic. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Reviews, likes, and comments are greatly appreciated. We go in and read them all. So thank you for those. And thanks for listening, and be unstoppable.